Welcome back to the Voice Cast Season 2, Episode 5. Here we are live from the billiard room. Just want you guys to check it out because it still looks like the billiard room.
I like it.
We have today Kaimana.
Hello.
And then also for the first time ever, drum roll, please, Pastor Michael Williams.
How's everybody
He's
doing?
here joining us today.
Awesome.
So here we go. First things first. Should you bite or lick your ice cream?
I think you should do, but like anything cold like that, I lick because I want it to last like as long as it can. Like in a group of people, I'm the last person to finish my ice cream, my Italian ice, my yogurt, anything. I just like to take small little bits of it.
Do you eat it even if it melts? Like if it's just like the ice cream juice?
Yeah, if I can just like scoop it a little bit, but I would never bite it. it's too much for me.
You have to think about people with sensitive teeth,
Okay.
right? Like, or maybe they just have bad teeth and they just don't know it. But I kind of feel like both.
Both?
Can I choose both? Is that
I don't
fine?
know.
There's no
Do you
rules.
like bite it at first?
It just kind of, I guess it really just depends on what kind of ice cream I'm eating.
Okay.
Like,
What
would
kind of ice
you
cream?
say that like the Mickey Mouse ice cream sandwiches is all that
Well,
ice
it's a
cream? Like,
sandwich.
yeah. So would
you
you
have to
consider
bite
that?
it.
You have to bite it. So I just
Can't
don't
lick the cookie
That's why I
part.
guess I'm kind of saying like I don't really lick those. I bite those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But not
right.
even
I mean,
like around the
Nope.
edges? You know what I'm saying? Like the microwave?
Bam, nope. But then when I have regular ice cream, I lick it. So I don't know.
Do you
I'm
ever
torn.
bite just regular ice cream?
No. I've never actually bitten
Ever?
extra. No, I've never actually
No,
bitten
it's
ice cream.
too
That's
much.
weird. So maybe slick.
Sometimes I bite it just because.
like ice cream cone.
Just to feel the pain.
No.
I don't know.
I usually usually melts on me.
Yeah.
So if Gio's there, I'm like, hurry, and then he'll like bite it or he'll like clean it up, and then I'll be like, okay,
Nah.
That's good.
because it's too much. Takes too much time. It melts.
I'm gonna go with lick. I'm gonna go with lick. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, let's say you're on an airplane.
Okay.
There's like the 3 seats. You have your window, your
Yeah.
center, your aisle. Obviously, usually the window or the aisle are the most coveted seats.
Okay.
Yes.
Does the person in the middle seat get both the armrests?
No,
No.
not at all.
I think they get neither.
So they get
They get
nothing.
neither. They get nothing.
I think if hopefully you have someone sitting next to you that you're with,
Yeah.
you can have theirs. But yeah, when I'm in the middle, I'm just like,
Yep.
because
Nobody
you can't
nobody
have
on
it.
your left or your right respects that you're
Yeah.
you're in the
They
middle,
don't
so
feel
they
bad
don't
that you're in
feel
the
bad.
middle.
Their arms are there.
But
They're
do
doing
you
their
feel
thing.
bad?
Who if I'm sitting
Yeah, like
there?
if you're like in the aisle, you take it. You
Nah.
don't
I mean,
let them
I would
have
let
it?
someone have it,
Nah.
but it's like
But
it's
like-
weird to talk about. So you
Yeah,
either just
so-
do it or you don't. And then if they're not using it, I'm gonna
Every
be like,
time I've been in the middle, the person on my left and my right never cared
They're like
about
this.
giving me an armrest. They were just, and it's like,
So then that's how you pay it. You're like,
yep. So when I get there, it's like I'm paying back all the different risks. I get both armrests.
No, I
That's
try
what you
to
get
be
for sitting in the
polite.
middle.
I
And
feel
when
like I never, like if I'm on the aisle, I'll do one side. I
Nah.
don't take it. I let them
I
have
want
it.
both.
Yeah.
And if I'm flying with Southwest, me and my wife usually fly. We usually sit her at the window, me on the aisle. So I'm
Really?
already
You
mad
risk
at the
having
person. I'm already
someone
mad at the
sitting in the
person that
middle?
chose to sit there. Like
okay,
you
but
should be
you
ashamed.
guys are being selfish.
Oh yes,
Does
we
someone
are.
sit there in the middle sometimes?
You know who
Oh,
always
yes.
sits in the middle? That's me. That's the standby person
Yeah.
who got on last. And I'm like
Well-
looking at the couple. I'm like, I know you guys are married,
Yeah.
but you're not
But
going to
you're not.
move.
Which
so
the cool
here
thing
I
for-
am sitting in the middle of you. Hope you guys don't want to talk.
No, yeah, no. When we get on an airplane, she goes straight to sleep, so we're good. But yeah, I'm.
So you don't
Easy.
ever make the middle person move, or that's my wife. Do you mind moving?
Nah, nope. They want to sit there. Go ahead.
They
Get
don't
on the
want
flip.
to.
And you just let them.
Y'all let them sit there. They ain't get no
Wow.
armrest though. They ain't get no armrest.
that's
they
That's
sit
their
there.
punishment.
That's their punishment for sitting in the middle. I'm mad. I'm mad now just thinking about it.
My
I'm
brother
already-
always used to like sit
I know,
by
but if
people
there's no other seats,
who
where
were
they're
nice to
supposed to
him.
go?
No,
Yeah.
the seat is there for them. They can sit in the seat, but just
That's
know
why
that
I hate flying. Like
there's
I know
no-
I'm scarred from being a kid and sitting in the middle. My brother would always end up sitting by nice old people who gave him candy, and I would
Yeah.
just be like listening to
I
my
hate this.
Walkman. Like,
every time I've sat in the middle, it's always like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
but
here.
maybe
You're
if you
also
just
not
let
like
someone
petite
take
though.
it.
No, I'm not. I'm
because
not
like
petite
I
at
can
all.
like curl up into like
You
a
can curl-
small
yeah.
ball.
I'm not petite
You know,
at all.
I'm
not
so-
petite.
I'm not petite.
I think
at
you're
all.
petite.
Nah, I'm far from that.
comparing to the person on 600-pound life.
Yeah.
I think
oh,
you're
Well,
petite.
yeah.
Hey, I've had some people like that sit in the middle.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they
And
bought a
that's-
seat.
yeah.
Where
No,
are they
they
supposed
did.
to
No,
go?
they can sit there. They just got to know they ain't getting no armrest. That's all that matters. They ain't getting no armrest. They
There's no mercy.
Okay,
Jeez.
when you take a shower, do you wash your legs in the shower?
Yes, I do. I actually wash my legs.
Both
Both legs. Like I actually,
back of the kneecaps, all of it.
I wash my legs. Yep. I do not let the soap run down.
Lather up?
I lather up. Get that bar and get it done.
I didn't know that people didn't wash their legs. I thought
no.
The standard is you wash the whole body.
Nah, there are people out there that don't wash their legs.
There's different areas that people just don't wash.
Just don't wash. Yeah.
Man.
Because you just kind of like, I don't know, but like who this is really dirty. So I'm gonna like clean
this is like my favorite part.
Like behind your knees, man, that's gross.
Do you wash behind the knees?
You gotta wash back there. That's nasty. My wife, she washes her legs, but she doesn't wash her feet.
Oh, well,
she doesn't wash her feet.
Does she want you to tell us that?
She does not wash her feet. It depends.
You literally
Sometimes
just put her
I
on
do.
blast. That's kind of gross.
She's fine. She's one of. There's a lot of people that don't wash their feet though.
That's
let
like
the soap
one of the
run
number
down.
one
her
things.
legs,
She'll wash her legs, but she
But
won't.
your feet are like, one of the number one
they're
smelly
tucked
areas.
under.
No, I know.
So
I'm with you. I'm with you. But
them.
I think now that she's 7 months pregnant, that probably has something to do with it as well.
I mean,
but I even think before we talked about it the other day.
Something embarrassing about you.
Do it. I got so many
podcast.
different embarrassing things. It's not even funny. But
I feel like feet smell no matter what.
No,
even if you're
pretty
like
gross.
you like clean them,
Yeah,
like you're
they're
like they
nasty.
still smell.
Yeah, they're
gross.
terrible.
They're definitely gross. But she ain't washing her feet.
You don't care?
Oh my gosh.
No, it doesn't bother me.
He's like,
Because I don't like feet, so I don't even touch them.
So you don't even see them. You're like, get those away
I
from
ain't
me.
seen them. I ain't touch them. I'm good. Anybody, give me a foot rub, babe.
That's why you make her say, like, put someone in between.
Yeah,
You're like, I don't like look at your feet.
You know I don't like to rub my feet. You know I don't like feet. And you ask me to rub your feet. You know I don't like feet. So
Do you rub her feet?
I usually give in. I usually give in. But I just,
like
savage.
she's been wanting it a whole lot more now.
Whoa.
Because she's pregnant.
How dare she?
This is
How dare
PG
she require
No,
something?
well, I'm talking about feet. Her feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about feet. Whoa, where are we going? I was talking about feet.
Get out of here.
She wants her feet
This
rubbed
is a
a whole lot
family
more now
show.
that she's pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She wants her feet rubbed. So I'm like, babe,
Just
come
help
on.
her
Pregnant,
out.
she's carrying your child.
You're right. And it's gonna be a beautiful kid. So
You don't
I can't
know.
be mad at her.
Even if
It
not,
could come out ugly.
she still deserves a foot rub.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Hey, everybody has permission to tell me if my kid.
No one has permission to do that.
No.
No one is
I can't give anybody that
allowed.
permission. Okay.
No.
All right, I got you. I won't.
No.
Nobody has
it
permission.
also kind of doesn't. I don't know.
Is that okay though?
Cute
to go to
babies end
someone-
up looking ugly when they get older, and ugly babies look cute when they get
It's
older,
true.
and fat babies are skinny,
but
and
also
skinny babies
too,
are
like
fat. I
after
don't know.
puberty, there's a whole other
Yeah.
thing. You could be super ugly. Puberty,
Like
and then,
everyone's
like, the
ugly,
glow
like
up.
in
I've
6th
seen
grade.
that. I've seen that.
And
That's
then
I'm that
there's
person.
really
people
the
that have not
determiner.
been ugly in 6th grade.
Well,
I'm that person.
Me, but yeah.
I'm that person. I was not a cute baby.
See?
Were you cute in 6th grade?
Are you cute
Yes.
now?
I think I'm cute now.
Yeah. See?
But
I
in
think I'm
6th
cute
grade,
now.
you were cute. In Master's Commission, you were cute.
Master's Commission, Sonya, you going? You
I'm
going
just
back
Let's see
into
your
it.
Georgia
Nah,
license.
Master's Commission, I was a mess. Woo, dear Lord Jesus, thank you. I'm ready to get into this now. It's reminding me of just
Things
how,
to be thankful
yes,
for.
Oh yeah, I'm just so thankful.
Okay, let's go ahead and continue our conversation. We are in a series called Quarantine Conversations because we are all in quarantine because thank you, Corona. So we've been talking about different things that maybe come up to the surface or things that we need to talk about, especially during these crazy quarantine times. So today we're going to be talking about appreciation, about appreciating what we have, appreciating the season we're in, being thankful, being grateful, and all that good stuff. Because as we all know, during these trying times or during any trying times, it's really hard to just be like, I am thankful. It's really tough. So let's begin. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, how appreciative are you as a whole?
Scale 1 to 10. I wrote down a 10.
Whoa.
I wrote down a 10.
Okay.
But maybe I'm a 9.
Yeah,
Maybe I
because
could
you
be a
don't like your
9.
wife's feet.
take
So.
it back.
I could be a 9. It is not. Her feet are different than everybody else's feet, but they're still feet. So I don't know. I maybe a 9 or a 10.
Why?
Only because I can never escape the fact that I am where I am today. I am who I am today because of people who believed in me and gave me a shot. So I just have to be. I don't know. Like I've just always been super appreciative.
Yeah.
I just can't. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see the people who believed in me so much and gave me so much. So it's like I'm reminded every time I see them of how appreciative I need to be. Does that make sense? So like I just can't. I don't know. I can't get anywhere around it. Even in with my marriage, just everything. Us having a kid here soon. I don't know. So much to
I
just
feel like
be
you're getting
appreciative.
shucksy already.
Yeah. No,
like,
I am. Already
really
am. Like
started.
just so much to be appreciative of, and so it's
Amen.
like
I believe you now.
Just, yeah,
After
just-
your explanation, I'm like, yeah, it's a 10. It's a 10.
So I might get emotional at some point in the midst
Go
of this.
for it.
I hope you do.
So, but
I would say like I'm a 7 because I'm not always like, wow, I'm so grateful for this, but I'm also not like ungrateful for things. Like I feel like I just exist. Like things that happen, they're good, I'm like cool. If they're bad, I'm like cool. And I just don't really ever stop and think about like, am I appreciative of this or do I hate this? I kind of just like live. It's probably not good, but it's probably unhealthy. But like I don't usually like stop and look at my situation and be like, how do I feel about this?
Yeah.
I kind of just like go through it, and at the end I'll be like, oh, what a time.
right.
What a time that was. I put down 7 too,
Uh-huh.
but maybe I'm more of an 8. Hearing you guys talk, I was like, well, maybe
You're
I'm more like in the
between.
middle because I think that as a whole, I'm
Right.
probably a 0. Well, whatever. All of us are zeros compared to the Lord.
Yes.
Zeros
but
to heroes.
I've taught myself to choose to be appreciative, and I think that I've learned.
Yeah.
So like, there's even a process that I usually have, which I can talk about more later, but it's become part of my conversation. And I literally was talking to someone the other day on staff, and they started going through the process just because that's what I usually do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's saying what I always say. So like, I'm probably an 8, but I'm with you. I don't know. It could be better. Dang
Always.
it. I want to be better. I'm thankful.
Let's restart.
Okay,
Thankful,
tell us about a time when you were very unappreciative, when you were like, you can honestly say like, okay, I was a spoiled brat. I should have acted better.
I think when I was like younger, I didn't, because I feel like, so my dad is a pilot, flew for Southwest, so we always got to fly for free, and I didn't really realize like what a treat that was. I always just was like, oh, I hate flying, I hate everything about leaving my house. And so like vacations and visiting family and stuff, like I never really appreciated it. Like I always brought like on my like Tiger Beat and like Teen Heart, whatever magazines, and like had my like scene kid music, and I kind of just like withdrew from people, and I just like did my thing, and I was like, I wish I was home. And I always just, even especially when I got involved in church, like I would not go on family vacations. I'd be like, I don't want to miss camp, I don't want to miss X plus on a Wednesday night, so I just wouldn't go on stuff. And like nothing ever really like amazed me, like the sights I would be like on my phone or whatever. But now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, like I'm begging, I'm like, parents, do you guys want to take us on a family vacation? Should we all go somewhere for 2 weeks and you pay for it? That'd be great. Just like when I was little. Yeah, so I never really cared. I never thought anything was that amazing or impressive.
Yeah.
I've always just been a homebody.
How about you?
This is really bad.
Okay.
It's
So-
okay.
It's a safe pool table.
So this is really bad. I actually feel really bad saying it, but it's the truth. So my first car I've ever owned was a Geo Metro. All right.
Do they even make those anymore?
No, those things are so far gone. Got 45 miles to the gallon. So you should remember. I think you remember this car.
Yeah, I think I remember the Geo
Yeah,
Metro,
little tiny red.
Was it like a diesel or something?
No,
How
it was
did it get
straight
that
gas. 45
mileage?
miles to the gallon, y'all.
That's
Like,
Flat
crazy.
Flintstone.
yeah, for
Feet.
like it was
You
a
basically was like a bike,
horrible car.
basically.
Horrible car. Paid $300 for it, and so I loved that car with everything I had. But what I've always been taught and seen is that every person has that one car, that first car that's like that beater, that car that's just it's not a good car. It's just it's bad. But it gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So when I got that car, I was happy. I got the car, very happy, very appreciative, very very thankful that I got the car. But then I just got excited about the second car. It's like the second car is gonna be better. The second car is gonna be the best car I've ever had. Right? It's gonna be like that. No, I didn't get my good car until 2 years ago. Like I didn't get my first really good car until 2 years ago. So my next car was actually given to me.
Okay.
Right? This car was given to me. I can remember being at Goldenrod campus.
Oh my gosh, I was there.
I was at Goldenrod campus, and
there too.
this family, one of their son was in my human video. Have known him for years, love him to death, and they gave me this car, right? And so my other car had finally blew up in Jessup, so I had to actually take the train back, so it was horrible. But I had went probably a year without having a car. They knew I needed a car, and that family ended up buying a new car and had this one car just sitting and decided to give it to me. So remember, now my mindset is, my second car is supposed to be like a Mercedes Benz,
Oh
right?
my
Like I'm supposed to
gosh,
be
I'm already mad at this
wheeling
story.
and you know what I'm saying, getting excited. And then they give me this car, and it is just
it wasn't a Mercedes?
It was not what I wanted at all, right? So,
But it was free.
but it was free.
It was
100% free.
Okay.
Works.
Yeah,
Air
that you
conditioning
know.
works. Everything worked in the car. Car was fine. I just didn't want that car. So I literally was like on the other side of I was just mad, angry, upset, confused.
Do they know this?
Like, no, they knew. They didn't know because
Okay.
I tried. Maybe they did.
So maybe they'll watch the
my
voice
my
cast?
face probably looked really bad. If they're watching this voice cast, then they're gonna find
my
out. But
gosh.
like, I tried my best to show to my face that I was appreciative, but I don't think I was.
From the get, you weren't appreciative.
No,
because
from the
I
moment I
remember
saw-
you coming in the youth office and you like showed all of us.
Yeah.
You were like, they just gave me a
This
car.
car,
And
yeah,
we were all like,
like-
oh my gosh.
yeah,
so
like-
even then, you were faking it.
No, I was faking it
Wow, you ruined my
100%. I was.
childhood. I was
I was
so
faking
amazed
it
by that moment.
because I literally looked at the car and I was like, ew.
It's literally a brat moment. Like, for
I'm telling
real.
you, like
Well,
the
you didn't have a
biggest.
car.
And so, like, and these are the. I'm gonna talk about this. This what I was being in that moment is the people I hate. Like it just I don't know. So like I'm just sitting here looking at this car and I'm like so angry, so whatever. And then it took like another situation. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody else who didn't have a car. And I think it actually, if we go back, it was the guy that Pastor Jason gave his old beat up car to. Do you remember his old beat up car? I mean, it was bad. Before the Dodge Stratus.
The Dodge? No.
Before that.
Another little red
No,
car.
yeah, it was horrible. And he ended up giving it to one of our leaders.
Yeah.
That car was in horrible condition.
Yeah.
But I can remember talking to that leader and he was so appreciative
Yeah,
of that
because he
car.
didn't have- yeah.
And then
Oh
when
my
I saw the
gosh.
car, I was like, ew. So I thought to myself, hold on a second. I looked at his car and I looked at mine and I'm like, I have no right. Wow. Like, I have no right. Like, this is a
so
working, great
funny.
car. There's nothing wrong with it. They gave it to me. So eventually I got to a place where I was very appreciative and I let them know and I thanked them. And it actually was real eventually. But it took some time to get
That
there. But
is
hilarious.
at first I was being bad. I was being
pretty
bad. It
bratty.
was Peggy was her name.
The car.
Peggy, yeah.
You gave
She
her a
finally
name, you
passed
hated
on.
her.
Aw.
It took I got so I didn't get my good car until 2 years ago, but it's all good. I'm thankful. God's good.
Oh my gosh. I think that probably one of my most unappreciated moments is probably not just one moment. I couldn't really pick one. I'm middle child, so I'm just angry
I'm
and
with
I'm
you on
just
that.
mad and I compare all the time and nothing is ever fair. So
Yep.
I think probably every Christmas from the moment I was born till this day is probably when I'm the biggest spoiled brat ever. Because I literally sit there and I will count, like, especially when I was younger, I would count all the gifts.
Right.
And I never understood, and I had to make it make sense in my mind.
Did you
So
count
I'm
like what they were worth?
Yes, I would make it make sense. I was okay.
Like-
I'm like, if this one is but money wise, maybe not down to the penny, but as in like,
But
okay,
you
that's
kind of
a big
understood,
gift.
yeah.
This is a big gift. This is just a stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
This is a Three Kings gift. I would go through,
That's
and there was
hilarious.
never a point that I got as much as everybody else.
Right.
There was never a point. I was never
Wow.
ever
You're making
100%
me, like,
satisfied.
rethink my childhood
You know,
here.
and I just couldn't even. I just thought it was so unfair. I remember one time my father, I would never say it out loud because you just don't say
No,
that. We are not white. We are Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
and we just grin
Get
and bear it.
slapped.
Yep.
And
you
I
get
remember
knocked
one
out.
time we were talking about Christmas stuff, and I remember my dad telling me that it was talking to me and my older sister, and I don't know why. I remember sitting in the dining room table in Rochester, New York, and he said that Laura, my little sister, will always get more presents than us because she hasn't had as many Christmases as the rest of us. And that made sense. Well, from the baby of the family, it makes total
Right.
sense.
I love
But
that rule.
Yeah.
I haven't had as many as Raquel or Roberto or
Yeah.
Tony or Speedy or Tina.
Are they all
There's
older
all
than you?
these
So yeah,
kids.
so
Are they
all
all
the
older than
youngest
you?
should
I'm
get
in the
yeah,
more
same
I'm
than
the
the
boat.
oldest.
second youngest.
This is
So
crazy.
at that point, I literally was like, why am I like all of a sudden whatever? And my dad thought
Yeah,
that
that
was
makes
the
sense.
most fair thing. So of course, Lada would always get more presents. And I literally, and here's the thing too, gifts are my love language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was this like, which I don't know if that's natural or nature or because the
Yeah.
Christmases or
Well,
the
if it
I
was
wasn't
natural,
allowed,
that's why you were so miserable as a kid.
Yeah.
Because you didn't even know that was your love language.
Or I think it became it because I knew that obviously the gifts were worth. That's the worth. You're not worth enough, Sonia, so you don't get Christmas. So that's me being a brat because it doesn't really matter. And my parents still love me, but I'm still mad. I just got hot.
I have
I'm
all these
still mad.
emotions.
kind of doesn't
coming up
make sense though,
because-
because like a youngest, like it's not like they were like abandoned, like they weren't alive yet. So it's not like they can
They don't get-
appreciate
yeah,
that they've
and-
been here less time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care. She still doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's not gift. She's like, can I go eat? Eating is her love language. They need to add that to the 5
Yeah,
love
I feel like
languages.
that's a
the
real
5 love
one.
languages.
Okay. Okay. You could be fine, thankful, blessed, at peace, living your life like it's golden. And then what can suddenly happen? And then your mood is instantly changed, and you're just like, everything is horrible. I hate everything. Anger, complaining, ungrateful. Like boom, instantly changes.
You want to go for it?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about my answer.
So I don't know if this is really the answer to this, but I feel like this has to do with like people and interacting with them. But like if someone gives me something and then like I'm like, thanks so much, and then I see them like telling other people about how great it was that they just gave me this, like I literally want to burn it and I want to rip it and I want to throw it I don't even care if it was a Mercedes. Like I'd be like, I don't want this. This is trash to me. So anything like that, or any kind of gifts that have strings attached, because like when I give a gift, like I don't even like people to open it in front of me. I want to pretend like it never happened. Like I'm like, go enjoy it. Don't even text me thanks. Like I'm all, because I just don't want to have it be like, oh yeah, this was for show. So anytime people make like a gift for show, I literally like, I don't use it. Like I'm like, this is trash, I want to throw it away. Or this is not really in gifts now, but like if I'm having like a good time with someone and we're like laughing and stuff, anytime someone pulls out their phone to like start recording the laughter, or if someone's doing something funny or anything like that, like I become like the WB frog. Like I'm just like, I'm silent. I don't move. I don't laugh anymore because I'm like, why did you have to ruin this? Like we were having a nice memory,
exactly.
and I don't want it on your Instagram story.
Nobody cares.
You know, like
put your phone away.
So I think a lot of that has to do with like feeling used, kind of. So I just don't like that stuff.
Different emotions are coming up in me.
What are you mad about? What are you mad about?
I'm mad now because people do that all the time. It's like we're all having a good time, and I'm being my just overly myself, and it's like you're recording me. It's like I don't want to be myself anymore.
I know.
Right, but it's like I was doing this for us, like to have a memory together, not so you could have clout on social media. Like I don't like that.
Something that upsets me. I can't talk. Upsets me.
I hate being obsessed.
Obsessed.
I'm obsessed.
Something that I guess makes me mad is, and I think there's more. I just can't think of them because obviously Kamana just said a couple. And I'm like, I'm mad. So already, and you know that like doing it for show. Like stop. Anyways, so just people who are well, I mean, my top one is people who just don't know how to be appreciative. That's a big one for me, just because. I'm
like when you give them a car and
they
don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, I had to learn. All right, that was a very long time ago. I was an intern. You know, I was something else.
That's so
I was
funny.
A mess. Master's commission days. Right back in internship.
I was a mess.
But undeserving people make me. Does that make sense? Like people who think they deserve something.
Oh,
yeah,
entitled.
That's a good one. So like
entitled.
people who
don't deserve anything.
Yeah, you don't deserve it. Like you don't deserve it. Like no, like yeah, like and so like. You know, like I'm just trying to think of different scenarios. You know, people. I've had conversations with people who have been so crazy to say something like, "He should have died on the cross. Jesus should have died on the cross." It's like,
oh my
what?
gosh.
Like, yeah. I've met some crazy people. So I'm not saying any names,
but
I'm not saying names. So like I've met people who are like that, who are like, no, we deserved this, and it's like, wait, what did we deserve? We don't deserve any. Last time I checked, I don't deserve any of the things that I have, right? Like, so just people who are so entitled, who feel like it's owed to them. Like this is supposed to be mine. Like I've talked to people about this stimulus check and how like this money should should it though? Like should it be yours? Like I don't completely understand, because it's like yeah, this is bad, whatever, and it's a tough time, but like you just have to make things happen. You know what I mean? Like you just have to get out there and make it. Yeah, like me and my wife, like we were like when this whole thing started going down and she was on the verge of losing her job, it was like, yo, what are we gonna do? It was like, well, if I have to Uber and Instacart every day of my life on top of working my normal job, like thank God that we have a pastor who loves us so much that still allows us to come into work to still get paid. Like that's amazing. Like I know churches out there that aren't
he's just
doing
financially
this.
wise,
and we financially wise, like
this,
Pastor Ben, Pastor Carl, y'all are doing unbelievable job at this. Like it doesn't make any sense to me because we ain't got it's crazy, and that's a whole nother. Gio would get mad at me about this, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. That's a whole different sermon. But like me and my wife were just in this place where it was like, yo, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And God just came through for us. God came through and made it happen, and she was able to transfer to a different department in her job, and she's making actually more money now than she was being the SOP. It's crazy because she's getting more hours, so it's awesome. And so like God's awesome, but it's like never at any point in any of that, then even when the stimulus check started being talked about, we were never like, we deserve this, give us our money. It was like, no, like if that happens, that's awesome.
And she's a healthcare worker.
Yeah, she's a healthcare worker.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for all your work that you're doing out there.
Awesome.
She's out there in the front lines, and
she's
holding your new little baby girl too.
She sure is.
So
she's
like
doing she's killing it. So it's just
she's a
like,
warrior.
no, we're not. I don't think we're deserving of this. Like,
Yeah.
sure, there's arguments that could say we are, but to me, I'm like, I'm not gonna live my life based off of that check. We're just gonna keep moving along, and if it comes, awesome. And then it did, and so it's like, all right, bless him.
Yeah.
We're good. Let's do it.
I think one of my things, and it's really dumb and really embarrassing, like, because I could be good, I could be fine, coronavirus could hit and I'm fine. Pandemic, like, big things do not freak me out. It's the little things that literally ruin my mood. So, like, I could be fine living my life. If I go outside right now and I see a flat tire, I'm like, forget it. I'm done. Life is horrible. Like, I will lose it because I'm just like, why?
Right.
Why?
No, it's
or
very
like,
inconvenient.
if I lose my keys and like, but like big things do not. It's the little
It's the
dumb
little things,
things
yeah.
that are
Yeah.
embarrassing to say, but it could. I don't know. It just literally can cloud my mind, and
You're
I'm
right.
just like, this is horrible. And
Yes.
then I'm like, I mean, it's stupid. It's a stupid tire. It's a stupid tire. Stupid tire. You know, like, but I just can't.
Little things.
I don't know.
just-
And then I'm mad at myself for being mad.
Mad, yep.
And I try to, like, you know, take deep breaths and calm down, but I'm like,
Yep.
I can't help it.
Right.
You know, I don't care. I just kind of throw it out the window, and I hate that.
Come home for a bowl of
Unexplained
cereal and there's no
random
milk.
things. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there was no milk.
And then you
this
can't go to the
morning.
store
And you
anymore
can't
after a
do-
certain
yep.
amount of time, and you're like, well, that's it. I'm
Well,
going to
no,
starve.
I'm just gonna
I guess
starve, yep.
I'm
Yep.
supposed to starve.
And
That's
there's
it.
so many other things to eat in the house. You just want that bowl
Yeah,
of
but
cereal.
you were
I
like
want that
dreaming
bowl of
about it
cereal.
since you woke up.
Yes, I've been thinking about a
10
bowl of
minutes
Cheerios,
ago.
Honey Nut Cheerios all day.
That's good stuff. Honey Nut Cheerios. People sleep on those.
And
Those are
apple
good.
cinnamon Cheerios, those are really good too.
I don't know if I ever tried those.
Try them, they're great.
Raisin Bran.
Okay, what's the hardest part about being appreciative, about being thankful? What's the hardest part?
I think the hardest thing about that is so for me coming up, the hardest thing about just being appreciative, thankful, it was just so easy to forget the sacrifice that people had made to get me to where I am. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it was just for instance, like back in my master's commission days, I was a master's commission student from 2006 to 2007, and then we came into this internship program. Did the internship program, and it was awesome. But like, if you go back and ask any of those people I was in that class with, I was not a part of the normal. I wasn't a part of the group. I didn't know anyone really. All I knew was Pastor Daryl. So I was kind of the odd one. You know what I mean? Like, I was a kid that nobody really knew. Who's this weird, smelly black kid from Jessup, Georgia? Which I was a mess back then. So like, got a do-rag on that doesn't speak English. Like, I don't know what he's saying. Like, it was just, I was a mess. So
You didn't speak English?
So like, it was just very bad English. It was
Okay.
like, axe and that. There's another one. Oh, let me stop. Anyway, so there's another one.
People
Bro.
say axe.
When people say axe,
But you used
But
to
if
say
you
it.
say
I know I used
Why
to say
do
it,
you
but then
hate
I
yourself?
decided to be better. I decided to go, no, I'm not going to speak like that.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
ask.
say ask. I'm gonna actually
you,
put the
pronouncing
like. I'm
S's,
gonna say it
people.
right. So like, I literally want to throw the microphone now because it's like axe. Stop saying axe. Anyway, so but like for me, I think the hardest part of being just remembering to be appreciative and thankful is just remembering what they did for you. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like, just remembering like the sacrifice that Pastor Daryl did take to bring me on, like to fight for me and go, no, this kid's awesome. You should give him a
Yeah.
chance. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, you ask any of the interns, they're like, we'll know who this guy is. Like,
I know.
the master's commission students knew me, but they didn't know me. So
Yeah. I remember
yeah.
when like everyone thought you were the worst drummer in the world.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
you were.
There's that.
God.
Yep,
And then
yep.
literally, it was until like literally like a pandemic hit, no one was there, and there was one random FCA chapel, and like, okay, Mike, fine,
was
you
his
can play
beginning.
at it.
Yeah, you can play.
And
I
literally
can't believe
you'd
you
be like,
remember that.
"Yes." Well, yeah, because everyone always talk about like you just weren't allowed to play the drums. You were not allowed. It was just not a thing. And then literally, Pastor will try to push you on because Daryl's always,
Yeah.
the best cheerleader.
Yeah, he is.
And literally, like I said, everyone was dead. No one was at chapel. So
Yep.
they finally gave him the one random chapel. And like
Let
school
Mike
was out and he
play.
would be like playing. And it's crazy now
Yeah.
that it's just like he's the best
The
drummer,
best drummer, yeah.
in the land.
Yeah.
In the mainstream land, Mike's
Yeah.
the best drummer. But I remember
Yeah.
when it was like, no way, you're not even allowed.
Yes. Oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Congrats, Mike.
You remember that stuff?
I think one of the hardest
So long
parts
ago.
to be appreciative or to be thankful, like there's two. Number one, I just think life is hard.
Yeah.
And like you could be doing your thing, all of a sudden you get bad news, like there's a death in the family or someone has a sickness or something, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm supposed to be thankful in this situation.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I'm upset, I'm hurt, I'm sad. Like feelings are so real. They're so
Yep.
like you just feel them so deep. I think it's really hard. And then also, which kind of leads to this, then there's also, you compare your life to everybody else's life or everybody's supposed life, especially with social media. You're like, okay, I'm miserable, but they're like on a beach in Hawaii. I'm miserable, but they're like super happy and everything is so great. And it seems like their life is perfect. So my life is horrible. So I'm not thankful, you know, like just looking at other people, just focusing on them just makes you feel like, okay, no, I hate this. I have nothing to be thankful for.
Right.
So.
I think too, it's like, I just think it's easier to be negative. And it's almost like this sounds like the dumbest reason ever, but it's like more funny to be negative. Like, I don't know, like comedians are usually funny because they've had a horrible life. So they like in their horrible life, they like have to bring out like humor. So like everything they joke about, it's like horrible things or like bad things, but you laugh at them instead of crying kind of thing. And so like, I know like just growing up, even just being really sarcastic, because I feel like the world is just satirical now. So like everything is satire, nothing is serious. And so satire is usually negative. Like it's like when we were, I think Josh was there when we went on like our one and only intern tour that happened. We were like at a house and we were playing Shibuya, which is like when you diss people. And so then someone was like, let's play it, but let's be positive and let's give compliments. So then we were like, we literally did one round of like, and your hair is nice. And then we were all like, we don't want to play anymore.
This is lame.
You know, because it wasn't fun to say nice things to people. It was fun to roast people till they cried. And then there was like, but there were actual like people really did get in fights kind of and like they were mad at each other after we played.
Because everyone
but it's more
swears they
fun.
can take
they can
it.
take it,
but they
and
can't take it.
But it's like we're addicted to that. Like we want to roast and be roasted, and we're crying, and we don't. But we just don't want to be positive because it's not. It's fun. It's more serious. I don't know.
I think we're addicted to the dopamine high that we get. Like that's just that high of attention that we get. But then we realize, but it's hurtful.
Right.
But I like it. It's very
so
abusive.
then we're like crying.
Jesus,
I'm saying it's like very
us.
unhealthy.
Yes, Jesus
but
help us.
That's who we are.
Okay, why do you think it's hard to express gratitude or express appreciation towards others?
I feel like sort of going along that same vein of what we were talking about, like expressing gratitude sort of makes you appear vulnerable, which can be misinterpreted as being weak.
Yeah.
And so, because you're saying thank you, you're like, you can't like thank someone and be like, whatever, like, unless you put yourself in like a lower position almost, you know, like you have to kind of,
humbling.
Yeah, it's very humbling. So I think we would always rather just like sarcastically say thank you or not say anything or whatever, because we just so much want to protect that like status we think we have. So I think that's what makes it hard a lot.
I think it's so crazy because I wrote down those. I put vulnerable, forthcoming, sarcastic culture, like literally, which I don't think I've ever been asked this question before. But I was trying to figure out, like, okay, why is it so hard?
Yeah.
And the only thing I would add to that was I just feel like we're also just very text culture. So like. I don't want to be thankful, or I don't even want to have a conversation with you at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it is, honestly, it's just being vulnerable. Even going, hi. Like, it's just.
Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah. Especially nowadays to, like, say thank you in person. I mean, that's, like, you have to, like, make a plan for a month to be able to
just
have
to say
that.
thank you. Yeah, like.
It's so crazy. It's even crazy, like, even if you watch TV or watch movies, how, like, guys used to have to actually go up to girls and ask them out.
And be, like, rejected.
And everyone's, like, watching by the lockers.
Right.
That's like not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to
even
worry
if you
about
did that, I feel like you would be called creepy.
Well, yes,
unless
exactly.
You're
like
a
just
10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd be a creep. We'd be like, get away from her.
Literally, like, took the word, like, right out of my mouth. Just, and a lot of times when I'm reading all these different questions, I'm just thinking about different things I've been through. And so, like, every time I've ever showed any type of gratitude and appreciation, like, I've always had to put myself in a, like, almost like a lower spot, like a humbling place. It's like, all right, like, and it helps me remember I'm where I am because of something they did for me in my life. So like, that's just, those vulnerable spots you can be in to just go, all right, look, like throw away the pride, throw away everything. I'm just so thankful and appreciative of what you've done for me. So yeah, like it's.
And I think that even partially too, like we're never necessarily like happy with what we have. We always have our eye on like the next thing, and we always trick ourselves and be like, if I only had this car, like that's the only car I would ever want. I would never ask for another car. I would never get whatever. And then you get the car, and then you start looking at the next class up of cars, and you're like, well, I really want this car. This is the best car. And if I get this car, I'll never need another car. And, you know, and like we think that there's like going to be an end to like our hunger for more stuff. And then there never is. So then we're like, I'll be thankful when this happens. And then it happens and you're like, well, well, I'll be thankful when the next thing happens, you know.
But that's scriptural. It says, like, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Yep.
Right.
And if we hunger for anything that's not, and this is for, I almost brought up this last podcast, but just it didn't fit. But just like we hunger and thirst for righteousness, like that's what we need to, being in right standing and whatever. That's all we have to hunger for. And if we don't, we're never going to be satisfied if we hunger for anything else.
Right. Yep.
It's like such a spiritual principle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what helps you appreciate people in your life?
I'm going to try to not get emotional by saying this one.
Do it.
So just remembering a time when I had no one.
Okay.
Just being in that place where you just, all you can do is rely on God. So all you can really do is just rely on Him and have faith in Him. And there's never been a long period of time where I had no one. God's always sent someone, if that makes any sense. But there was a time when I just had no one to be there to gas me up, if you will. No one there to encourage me. No one there to tell me I'm going to be okay. No one there to tell me that I'm going to make it. I'm going to make something of my life. Instead of, on the other side of it, having, teachers and parents, family who didn't believe in me, who didn't believe in the calling that God had placed on my life. So I appreciating people in my life is just so easy because I can remember when there was just no one on my side to now I have more than enough people on my side who are rooting for me, who want the best for me, who are more excited for me, I think. In some aspects of my life, it's like, I think you're more excited than I am about the kid. Like, it's awesome. But, just like, just remembering a time when there was just no one there to encourage me, and then just looking now at I have.
Can you remember a time, like when you were in school or whatever, or like the things people would say, or you just felt?
I think there was at least 3 or 4 different teachers in my 9th grade year that told me I would never amount to anything. That told me I would never become anything.
And they said this to you?
They said it. Yeah, they said it to me. Teachers who were supposed to, I can remember times my parents have said that to me. Family members have said it to me. I was the one. I can even remember a time, God bless them, like they're amazing, but I can even remember a time where my mentors, they never said it, but they thought it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, like they loved me, they believed in me, and I said God bless them because they both have passed away. And they're amazing. They're two amazing people. But you know what I'm saying? Like even back to when I went to my mentor, the last mentor that was living, his funeral was maybe 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, maybe a year ago. And I can remember even going and his daughters even telling me, like they looked at me and it was like, we thought you were the one that wasn't going to make it. And I'm like, okay. And but then they look at me and they're like, we just want to let you know that like we're sorry.
Wow.
We were wrong. Like,
wow.
And I'm sitting here like,
that's
like
so
this is crazy.
To
like
hear.
we were wrong. Like we were wrong.
No,
like
just kidding.
Not only have you made it, but just look at you. Like look at who you've become. Look at what you're doing. And I'm like, do you guys follow me that much on social media? They're like, we follow everything you do on social media. I'm like,
like you were eating dinner.
Like this doesn't make any sense. Like
rice.
And so they're like, and oh, by the way, we also don't believe your wife is real. She's too pretty. So we can't wait to meet her. So then I bring her to the funeral and they're just like, this is crazy. Like it's just, I know back then. So I'm like, this is just, but anyway, so like,
but he's
I just,
like,
like, I'm past it, it's all good. It's just, and so like, just parents, mom and dad just telling me I would never amount to anything. I can remember that. Siblings, telling me like, what are you trying to, did have my older brother, he did try to pour some life into me and try to help me out and try to get me out of the house. But even then, I think he kind of felt at some point I was just a lost cause because, I was a bum. So, but just remembering a time when I just had no one. And so God always sent me someone. And then, my spiritual father came into my life in middle school. And so I felt it a lot in that middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade era, around that time. And so that's when my spiritual father came into my life, and he never left. So he believed in me and poured into me, and so was there. But, just remembering that time.
I feel like just what helps, which I feel like Pastor Michael sort of explained that saying, is like just having a maturity. Like as you get older, you sort of realize how valuable friendships are. Mm-hmm. You sort of realize, I know like when I was younger, there were things that my parents said and I'm like, you guys are the worst. I'm not going to do this when I'm a parent. And then I'm older. I'm like, wow, I'm so glad you did that. Thank you so much. Like I appreciate right now where I am, like I appreciate my parents and I like understand why they did what they did when I was little more than ever. And I'm like, man, I was such a brat to like ever think you guys should have done this or whatever, because I just see it now and I'm like, some people don't have parents, some people don't have both parents, some people's parents can't afford to send them to college like you sent me, like things like that. And so I just think that, and even having friendships, like I've had the same close group of friends for almost a decade now, and I'm like, I didn't realize that was rare
Yeah.
until like people told me it was rare. And I was like, wow, even though we're all working full time now, we pay our own bills. So like we don't have as much time to just like, let's go to the beach for a week. You know,
Right.
like we're still probably closer because we all make each other a priority still, even if it's just once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like, hey, how are you? Here's a GIF. You know, like it just means a lot because we're there for each other. So it took me growing up, getting older and realizing how rare and, you know, coveted it is to have a circle before I really appreciated it.
Yeah. I think what helps me, it's all learned. I don't even know, like, it's just all learned behavior because, like I said, I think naturally I tend to be middle child and just look for the fairness in things. I don't think I'm ever even just looking at the Enneagrams. There's ones, I'm this. In my mind, what I really am is never what people assume I am because I'm like, naturally, it's that fair thing. I choose to like be led by the Holy Spirit. So there's certain things I put out. So to me, it's learning. I chose to be deliberately, daily, like appreciative of people.
Gotcha.
So like every day, if there's a big thing that we just did or a big moment or whatever, I try to just kind of stop, step back. Even like Sunday, we did a big, you know, the Easter thing or whatever. And it took a lot out of people to come and film and hold a camera or rehearse or do whatever. So then that night I went home and I'm like, I'm like, thank you so much for doing the spoken word. Send. Thank you so much for playing that instrument. You play really good. Send.
Right.
You know, like I just won't go to bed until I am purposely, deliberately, just thankful for people that kind of help like pass the vision, or even if it isn't like a big day, I'm like, okay, let me just text my mom, let me blah blah blah, let me whatever, like look through my phone. I try to every single day because it's just, I don't know, like it kind of leads into the next question I'm going to ask you guys. I'm like, it's just important, because you never know who's going to be around tomorrow. No, like that's the creepy thing. And that's reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is probably very real to me and part of my story and part of my DNA. But like, you know, I'm going to thank so-and-so today because I don't know if they'll be here tomorrow.
Right.
And I'm not trying to speak doom and gloom, but that's one of the reasons, like, why is it, I'll just go ahead and lead to the next question because I just answered it. Why is it important to show gratitude to people?
I think that, first of all, gratitude is what brings you close because, again, it requires humility, which can bring intimacy into relationship. But I remember, like, I think it was a family communication class or a marriage communication, I don't know, something about communication. And it said, like, studies have shown and whatever that it takes 5 positive comments to cancel out a negative one, like in your relationships with people, like in a fight or an argument. Yeah. And so to think about how powerful negativity is, it's kind of like, it makes you be like, wow, I have to be that much more positive. And I know, like, for me, like, I tend to lean towards the negative. So to know that something negative is 5 times more damaging than positive is helpful. I think it just kind of puts things into perspective and be like, I don't want to hurt the people who I love. I don't want to, you know, damage my relationships because of something like pride. Like, that's very dumb. So I think that like statistic always rings true in my head when I think about saying something mean or think about saying something without thinking about it. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to do a lot of legwork to like make up for this. So let me just not, and let me just choose something nice instead.
Definitely. I had here. I think it keeps us humble. Yeah. But I was gonna say also, just like you never know what that gratitude towards someone will do for them. Yeah. So like I don't know if you remember this, but years ago we were doing Freak Show, and we did the Keepers. Did the Keepers, and the Keepers was being ran by, it was a girl, I can't remember her name, but something was going wrong with it and it wasn't getting done. So then you came in and was like, hey, can you help with this? And you asked me to help with that. And I was like, at that time I was very intimidated by you, but you know, like, it's all good. I think it was 2000, it was either 2007 or 2008. So it was it was a long time ago. Like, how many years? 12 years ago? What is that? 12? 13 years almost. So anyways, this October I guess would be that time. But so then I came in and you just asked me to help because I'm a drummer, so I just get it. So I came in and helped her, and I can remember you actually saying thank you to me about that, like letting me know you were appreciative of me helping out with that. And not only did it mean a lot to me, it pushed me to then take over the Keepers the next year Actually, I took over the keepers indefinitely. I took over the
and
keepers
then every time
and did it for the
now
rest of
any
it. And then
last
anytime
year,
you needed it, Mike Keepers.
Wow.
Yep. Like, it pushed me to about a bit. So just,
That's cool.
I don't know, like, you just never know what that gratitude to someone is doing in their life. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's happening.
I literally
to
do not
them.
remember.
No, yeah, you don't know what they're going
now,
through.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, Mike, the keepers, but I literally don't even know before you took it over.
Yeah, so like.
I remember the auditions the one time where you and Jelly could not stop laughing.
Could not stop. Yeah, Jelly
and it was
being-
very rude to one person like performing, and they literally had to, like, you heard the gas and they had to hide their faces because somebody was dancing, but they would move like maybe every 10th count.
Oh,
so they'd be
my
like,
goodness. I was trying my best. I just want to say I was trying my
It was
best.
really bad.
It
I
felt
remember
like
that.
felt like it was like American Idol when they're all laughing at the bad people. It was like that.
and
the
I'm just
person-
looking, I'm like, thanks.
But like, yeah, just that moment right there. Like, I then took over that now, and then like, if you say it, like, hey, Mike, we need keepers again. Whatever you need, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And we did it again for, which was it last freak show we did?
Yeah,
we did keepers
2
for
years,
that.
not last October, but the
Yeah,
October
but
for that.
we did keepers. So, you just never know what. Just saying, I
feel like
appreciate you. I'm
that's
thankful
what
for
became
you.
of your always national award winning
no, definitely.
unconventional percussion
Yeah,
groups
like, that's
too.
what I'm saying.
For the
Like, you
past,
look at that,
decade,
like-
you've won.
That was
Yeah.
even before you started
Mhm.
doing
Yeah,
that.
Sure was.
That's like what
before I
sparked
started doing
that. That's crazy.
My first year doing that was 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. So it birthed. I didn't even think about that. It birthed something in me I didn't even know
You're
was there.
welcome.
So
Wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
Thank me for pointing that out.
Gratitude.
look at that. Yeah.
I think that's another reason I'm like, you reap what you sow. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
important too.
Definitely.
This is kind of random, but I wrote it down. I'm going to just share it. Hebrews 13:17 says, obey your leaders and do what they say. They are watching over you and they must answer to God. So don't make them sad as they do their work. Make them happy. Otherwise, they won't be able to help you at all. I think this is kind of random, but it's for anyone that's in sort of a leadership position or desires or leader or is in, I don't know, just kind of, we all kind of have someone over us and someone under us. But it's crazy how the Bible says, like, so don't make them sad as it make them happy.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, like, anytime you have anyone like over you, under you, which is everybody, like it hurts them. I've been in church life or whatever where my youth pastors left because they were sad. They were hurt and they quit. And I remember in high school, middle school, like while I was in church my whole life, I didn't always have a pastor or a leader or anything like that. Because for whatever reason, their work became sad. It became a burden, so they quit. So I see that, and I see sometimes now there's students and people that have leaders or people that have people over them. Or there's such a strong vibe in the church now for discipleship and mentorship.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that it's super huge. I think that it's super big. But I think sometimes because there is a breakdown in the family unit, people looking for that mentorship and that leader, they almost kind of suck the life out of the mentors or suck the life out of their leaders. So I feel it's a little bit imbalanced sometimes because they don't know. They're like, okay, I don't have a dad, I don't have a mom, and I'm going to I want everything from you, leader. I want your time, your liberty, your pursuit of happiness.
Right.
And it becomes a little bit imbalanced to the point that leaders get burnt out.
And they're sad.
And these are volunteer leaders, and they get sad, and then they quit because the balance
true.
isn't
The balance is
there.
off,
So I think it's important if you have a leader in your life, like make sure that it's never always about like complaining or wanting more for them. I always think that the line is blurred whenever there's someone underneath you and they demand something more from you. I think that's when the lines get very blurry.
That's not how it
That's not how it works.
in the
Because at that
Bible.
point, when you demand something from someone, that means that you are on equal level field. And they're not like, you're like, no, they're no longer a leader. They're your peer. And if you think a peer, they're probably not their leader.
Exactly.
So, and it could, I've seen that with students, with even adult people like, I want more from you. And I'm just
and
like,
you're
I'm
how
not married
much
to
more
you.
you
I'm
need?
like,
Calm down.
I'm your pastor. That's it. So any
true.
point, just even like if you start demanding something more from someone who's over you, the relationship is probably not healthy. Because you're treating them like a friend, and it's not showing the gratitude or the appreciation. I think that is very, and I think as a society, we do that. We demand like, you need to give me this, you need to give me that, you need to whatever. Instead of showing appreciation, we always share our list of complaints and issues.
And the negatives. Yeah, that's good.
I think it goes along with what he said about being entitled. Like it's very like, I deserve for you to call me every
Yep,
day, or
yep,
I deserve
exactly.
for you to buy me stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm your church leader.
Yeah.
And that's where our relationship ends.
Yeah, that's
I
what it
am
is.
your
That's where it
church leader.
stops, yeah.
I'm not, anything more than that. But yeah.
But then the gratitude, it's blurred because volunteer leaders don't have to do
Right.
anything.
They
Like,
don't get
you
paid.
think
They
about it,
all
no
do
one
other
has
things
to do
besides
anything.
this.
The ones
Yes.
that do is probably whoever birthed you.
Yeah.
Right.
And they should.
And that's it.
They should. Yeah.
And that's about it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know, believers and Christians, we should.
Right.
But there isn't like a law or like a whatever. So I think sometimes like that, until we start displaying that attitude of gratitude, see what I did there?
Yeah. I see what you
Oh
did
my
there.
gosh. Like that, where sometimes we have unhealthy relationships and
Oh, for
unhealthy
sure.
connections.
For sure.
Definitely.
Okay. What helps you to be thankful for blessings in your life? So not necessarily people, but like blessings and opportunities. What helps you to be thankful?
What helps me to be thankful for I'm thinking everything besides people.
Yeah.
It's just
Cars.
watching my parents. Just thinking of them helps me to be thankful and just to remember a lot of that stuff. I can think back to a time when my mom, when I was growing up, my mom didn't have to work because my dad made enough money. And I can remember when he lost his job. So when he lost his job, that's when we pretty much lost everything. And so I can remember in that time, the holes in our roof, trying to sleep with water dripping in on our heads, never owning a bed until I was 18. My first bed was bought by the McCrary family. They cried when they found out it was my first bed. Had that bed for a very long time and finally sold it because I upgraded. Upgraded finally to a queen. Had no idea what that life was like until I was like, yo, this is awesome. So it's like, okay. Like I slept on the floor for probably 16, 17 years of my life. Sorry, when I was a baby, I had a crib. But so for a very long time in my life, the roaches. Living with just roaches, rats, spiders, anything you could possibly imagine. And that time came when my dad lost his job and he wasn't able to, pay for electricity. He wasn't able to pay for food.
Yeah.
How big was your house?
House was a double white trailer, 3 bedrooms. There was 11 of us in that house. I have 8 brothers and sisters. There's 9 of us. And my parents, thank God, are still together.
Amen.
And so I can just remember that time. And then I can remember thinking we had it the worst.
Yeah.
I can remember thinking that we have it the worst. Like nobody has it as bad as us until I met someone or until I saw someone who had it worse than me.
Wow.
And then I realized it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad.
Oh
You know
my
what I'm saying? Like
gosh.
my
I'm
parents,
like feeling like a brat right now, and I'm like,
my
no, Mike, you
parents,
didn't have it the
Like,
worst.
I don't want to say my answer.
my parents, I'm so thankful for my mom who, when my
Yeah.
dad lost his job, she went out and got a job. And she went out and worked at
Get it.
KFC making $5.15 an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Every day. I can remember my dad deciding to push his pride to the side and taking a job at Walmart and being a stalker at Walmart.
Wow.
And them working, trying to provide what they could for
Yeah.
us. And just doing what they could. I remember my older siblings trying to send us money, trying to help us out when they stepped into different things and different situations that got them better jobs and better money and whatnot. So like that. My parents and just their hard work and their perseverance and just kept pushing and tried to do what they could to provide for us. So that helps me to, just be thankful for the things I have now, because I didn't have those things back then. I didn't have, just the things that like every kid has had, like I just,
Wow.
and it helps me too to prepare for Sloan, because I'm going to make sure that Sloan has everything that she needs, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do what it takes to make sure she has everything that I didn't have. So
Little Sloan. Well, my answer is going to sound dumb. I already said that. So let's all take a pause. One thing that just helps me, which I feel like no one believes me when I say this, but like I really just don't look at what other people have and compare it to what I have.
Okay.
And I know that like that seems impossible. One reason though is because like at least until this quarantine started, like I really didn't use Instagram that much. Like I would post about The Voice, or I'd post like a picture of Gio or whatever, and then that was like all my involvement in that.
Yeah.
So all the comparison trap stuff, like seeing pictures of people's lives, I just didn't really do that because I had never gotten used to using it that much. So I just didn't. But I also feel like I learned that from my parents. Like they never were really like the keeping up with the Joneses people.
Yeah.
Like they always just bought what they liked and they didn't really care if it was like the coolest thing or the name brand thing or the thing everyone was doing or like the thing all the families were doing. Like we took the same vacations because we liked them. We bought the same clothes because we liked them. We, you know, like my dad buys his shirts from like Costco, but like he could afford to buy like them from, you know, Jose Bank or whatever. I don't know if that's a place.
That's a place.
But he likes to buy his golf shirts from Costco. And so like, but he doesn't care. He's not like embarrassed. They're not whatever. So I've never grown up seeing like, oh, I have to, you know, meet the status quo. So like in my whole life, like things I have, I'm like, I buy this because I like it. I wear this because I like it. I have this because I like it.
My dad is the same way.
Yeah, and I think that's really, I didn't realize
Walmart.
how great it is to have parents like that.
Yeah,
Because,
it rubs off on you.
Yeah, because I'm like, I
dad,
couldn't care less to have things that I can't afford or things that people think are cool because I'm just like, I like what I like.
Yeah. That's not dumb.
Yeah, it's like you're walking through Walmart and it's like, oh, that's a really nice shirt. Bought it.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna wear this shirt.
My dad,
like
we
this
got
shirt.
everything. We were in Bath, so I got everything at Kmart.
Yep, Kmart.
Literally
That
got
was
everything
a
at
spot.
Kmart. I remember buying the first time I walked into a Gap was with Jamie Wilson. I remember that, and it was in
Of
college.
course.
Never been in one, of course.
With Jamie.
With Jamie
Yeah.
Wilson.
Like I've never, and it's not like, but my dad was like, no, like it just, we were never taught that.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is what you get. That's it. Lauda literally was like, she remembers being in middle school. Like, I loved Kmart. I thought it was cool.
Kmart was awesome.
fine.
I
You teach
loved walking
people
into
how to
Kmart.
be brats.
Loved
She
Kmart.
thought it was so cool. And I
Love
remember that
Kmart.
when I was like, it's not cool, Lauda. There's more out there.
There's
No,
designers.
there is. No, there is. Yeah, but Kmart was the joint.
I think what helps me to be thankful for blessings, it's like to, for real, get our eyes off ourselves and like back to God.
Yeah.
And once again, that's deliberate. Like, I'm just like, okay, don't look at me, look at God. And I just think I'm like, God, you're nice and you died for me.
Yeah.
And you're this and you're that and you're whatever. And it literally, it's like, it's what the Bible says, but it's like magnify the Lord. I don't magnify my problem. Like, I'm like, stop looking at the flat tire. Stop looking at this. Like, I have to tell myself, literally, like, your mind processes it, which is so funny because you don't realize how much control you have over your mind.
Yeah.
You just let it. You literally, let the party go on. You entertain it, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so bad. I'm bitter. I'm like, no, like, stop thinking about it.
Right.
Even
Do
if you have to
something
lock
else.
yourself up in your room, give yourself a little lecture and go,
Yeah.
no, I'm thankful because Jesus still died.
He did.
And even if you have to scream it so you could be louder than your
Yeah.
thoughts, it's
Yeah.
important.
It's
Or
important.
like, think peaceful thoughts.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like at night when I can't sleep, I'm like just the ocean. I just want to fill my mind with the ocean or grass, like, you know, even just like tranquil thoughts to help you stop thinking about, oh no, what about this and what about that, and about worry and about, oh my gosh. And it's just important, and it's so you can do it.
Yeah.
It's if we stop, like, turn off the TV, put the video game down, and like start taking those thought captives and magnifying God. It works. It's once again, it's a discipline. It's not a feeling like, this feels nice. Like, no, it doesn't feel nice, but you just you learn how to do it. The other day I was having a conversation with someone. And they told me some, like, you know, some sad news. It wasn't horrible, it was bad news. But then she looks at me and literally sitting and she's like, but you know what? Things could be worse. I still have this. I still have this. I still have this. And I started laughing because that's exactly what I always say. But she wasn't making fun, and she was literally telling me, like, no, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Because at least I have this. And I literally laughed out loud, and she looked at me like, what? And I'm like, nothing. But I taught myself, like, even if it's bad, I just stop and I'm like, okay, right, this bad thing happened, but it could be worse.
Right.
Because I still have this. I still have a job during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? My family is good. They're healthy.
They're healthy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I still, you know, have a place to live. I still have a car. Thank God that I just got my oil changed, so I don't have to go anywhere public anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, even those little things that you're like, I'm so thankful for that stuff, and being deliberately, it helps.
Yeah.
You know, it helps you just become an appreciative person and someone who
Absolutely.
is more welcoming. Like, you're like, you want to talk to those people. You don't want to talk to people who are
no
just
one
always
wants to hang out with
negative
the spoiled
Nancy's.
brat.
Pastor Dean always, every time, he's like, something like, it could be just anything is going wrong in service or something like that. And I'm always just like, it could be worse. I was like, it could be worse, right? Like, and it's funny, I kept saying it could be worse because now I think we might be in worse. The kids aren't even coming.
You're like, that's
So,
true.
like, we're in
I don't know
worse.
if it
We're
could
in
be
worse.
worse anymore.
But still, like, even on top of that, like, I was on the phone with Pastor Chris. I was on the phone with Pastor Chris, and he was talking about his way of being able to produce a service online and just going through all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here thinking like, yo, I'm so thankful for the Josh Rushes. I'm so thankful for the Geos. I'm so thankful for the people, the Jonathan Perez, the people who have thought of all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, I just
because not
like,
everybody has
it's
that.
Like, yo,
Yeah.
like, it's like, man, like it's so easy to forget sometimes. And then it's just like, he was just reminding me right then and there. It's like, no, I'm thankful for these people because they just do all of that. So it's just,
It's
you
true.
just-
Okay, why is it important to be thankful? That's more of a generic term, but as believers, it's important that we, cover this. Why is it important to be thankful?
My first thought when thinking about that is literally like being thankful just keeps you out of debt.
Yeah.
Like we spend, Dave Ramsey, I can't remember, of course, now I should have written it down, but it's like we spend so much money trying to like impress people that we don't know and who don't care about us. It's something like that. It's way better.
Yeah.
But when he says it, but it's something like that. Like when we aren't thankful, we don't realize how much of our thoughts, our time, and our resource goes into trying to get more stuff so that we'll be more thankful. So I always think about that. Like contentment is the greatest thing you could ever have because it will keep you financially sound. It'll keep you happy. It'll keep your relationship strong.
Yeah.
And you won't just go doing crazy things trying to fill yourself up with items and cool pictures to post and cool memories to make.
Right.
Like you'll just be happy.
Yeah. It's important to be thankful because if you're not thankful, I think you're prideful.
Yeah.
So just for me, like there was I think there was a time definitely when I wasn't as thankful. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't express it enough, or say that maybe now I don't say it enough. You know what I mean? But like I think just not being thankful puts you in that place of pride, just believing that I did this because of me. I can't think of many things in my life, if there is any, that I've done because of me. You know what I mean? Like it's just like.
But most people don't think that way.
No, huh?
Most people don't think that way. They're like,
it was
me.
It's like, no, I don't.
I'm
I don't
everything.
think, no, I'm just like, and if there was no physical person to have done that for me, then I just, all right, God did it for me, like, right?
Yeah,
but even
right.
God still put that person in my life that was going to be able to do it for me anyway. So like, I don't know. Like, I think if you're not constantly just being thankful, you start to get to a place of pride, and pride starts to take over, and that is not a fun cliff to fall off of.
Yeah, I wrote down 1 Corinthians 4:7. For what makes you different from anyone else? What do you have that you did not receive?
Right.
And if you did receive it, why do you boast as though you did not?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Paul says that, and
Wow.
it's just like nothing we have. Like, what do you have that you did not receive? There is
Right.
nothing we have that someone did not give us.
Yeah.
Come on.
And if it's not from it's God who
Yeah,
gave
it's
it
God,
to
yeah.
us.
Mhm.
So I think that's where it kind of all begins, and it all stems from that.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing like. No, but my brain. God gave you that brain.
Yep.
God gave you that opportunity. God
He did.
gave you, this water, phone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like
All of it.
everything. Like you go back, like this dumb pool table. Like someone gave in the Now Project a bazillion years ago,
Yep.
Yeah.
so
To
that
be
we
able
could
to pay
have
for
this
this.
dumb pool table, so that we could film this dumb voice cast.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
God is looking at this place, like just everything that we have. It's someone gave it.
Someone gave it.
No one was just like, no, you. I'm like, no, because someone gave it to us. If someone gave it to us, it's
Right.
just, it's important that we react to life like that. Like, why do we act as if we did not receive?
Right.
Why do
Right.
we act like, that we are the source of our strength?
Right.
Right.
So it's a slippery slope, and it literally can shift your mindset, and
Scary.
it'll shift your worship, your attitude, your connections with people if you're an ungrateful
Right.
human being. What are some tips on how to be grateful during hard times?
I would say one thing is to just remember that you're going to look back on this time and it's going to be a memory. And so you can kind of like choose to muscle through it, but I don't feel like you should.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, just get through it. I feel like I disagree with that, because when you just get through it, it's kind of like you start doing that in all of life, because you're just trying to get to the other side. You're just trying to get to this place. You're just trying to get to where you're happy. And then you realize you've gone your whole life just trying to survive, because this is the day the Lord has made. So we should rejoice and be glad. He makes the good days and the bad days.
Yeah.
So it's like there's memories to be made in this day. There's, things to learn in this day. There's probably things that you can enjoy in the hard times, and you want to be able to look back on the hard times and be like, man, I'm so grateful that this happened. Man, this made me a better person. Like when Sloan comes, like you're going to be able to, and she's like, I want 5 Barbies and not 2 Barbies. And you're going to be like, let me tell you something about having Barbies.
Yeah.
Like I slept on the floor, and who knows, she probably won't care till she's older, but it's just cool to have been a person who's been through something.
Yeah.
Because then you can tell people, you can help people, you can look back and be so grateful where you are right now. If you didn't have the hard times,
Right.
you probably wouldn't be grateful about the good ones.
Right.
So I just think it's like enjoy it as much as you can.
That's good. I had my answer, but I forgot it. I'm trying to remember it. It's going to come back to me in just a minute.
I can go. I think that just a heart of gratitude leaves no room for complaining.
Yeah.
I think that if you catch yourself, or just kind of even for the next 24 hours, anyone watching at home, like if you say something negative, I want you to like immediately say something positive. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of being here. I'm like, thank God that at least I have a here to be at.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I'm so tired, I want to go somewhere. I'm like, thank God that at some point you've been somewhere, so you know that you compare it to.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
means that you're already blessed, because there's
Right.
people who've never been anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they've never traveled, they never this,
Yeah.
they never whatever. Like, I think that it's just if you catch yourself, like literally try to ask God to make you aware, but then like literally like catch yourself, because the people are complainers
Yeah, oh yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah.
Like you hear people complain about everything all the time, and you realize
Yeah.
how good of a life they must have, because they're always compared to this situation. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a very blessed person if you complain so much, because
Yeah.
you're constantly comparing to what once was.
Right,
You have
yeah.
nothing to when you have a crappy life, you're like, oh yeah, nothing to compare to. I'm
Nothing
good.
to
Right.
I'm
You're
good,
like,
yeah.
this is
Like-
great. It's the best I can do.
I was watching this video the other day, and it was this basketball player who they were talking to him, and they were like, yo, you have all the money in the world, but you live like a broke person. He's like,
Yeah.
because I was broke most of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? He's like, I was
Good for
broke most of my
him.
life. He's
You'll
like,
never be broke
so why?
then.
Now why am I've been at the bottom. So it's like, yo, I'm good. He's like, I know what it's like to have $10 in my bank account, and I have this bill, this bill, this bill, this bill. But now I've made all this money as a basketball player, and it's like, no, I'm gonna still live the same way.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna live the same way. It's like, nope, I don't need that. All I need is this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, you can
He's
have
probably
the
happier
best,
though.
Yeah, he
than
is. Like you can have
people
the
with
best car in
5
the world.
cars and yeah.
Exactly, I have the best car in the world, but you drive a Ford. He's like, yep, because that's all I need. 4 wheels,
Wow.
a motor, and get me from point A to point B. Why do I
Mm-hmm.
need that? Like, why am I going to spend all my money on that? I got kids, I got family. I'd rather
Yeah.
give it to them. I'd
Yeah.
rather let them have it. It's like, yo, that was a great. But you pretty much took my answer. I should have said it before, but
No,
like,
you're fine.
kind of like getting the notepad and writing down just all of like, I don't care who you are. Like, write down all the worst things that are happening in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just find people who are going through worse stuff. And it's like, oh, wait, it's not that bad. Like, anytime me and my wife start to complain, I always go, babe, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it could be worse. Like, we could be in this situation. We could be in that situation.
Yeah.
We could have had this. We could have had that. But that's not the case. So it's going to be okay. Like, it's fine. Like, it does get tough. And sometimes where you may think the worst is, it gets worse. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember
Yeah.
our saying. Our saying is, no matter what we do, it always gets worse. I think it was our saying. Like we literally walk around, everything could be falling apart, and I literally just walk by Pastor Sonia's office, and I'm like, no matter what we do,
It
and
can
she'll
always
go,
get
it'll
worse.
always get worse. It can always get worse.
It can always get worse.
It even got to the point that Lauda learned,
Yeah.
and Lauda started saying it. So it's like, yep, it can always get worse, right? But
Because
like,
our attitude shouldn't be dependent
Yeah,
on that,
on-
because there could be
exactly,
all of a sudden
like-
2 years later a pandemic, and we don't have
exactly, and we
anything.
ain't got nothing. It's like, yo, we just keep going and keep pushing, and just
Yeah.
remember that there is someone out there that's going through way worse. And let's say you get to a place where there is no one out there doing worse. Like you get to the bottom of the right. Like
Right.
let's just say that, right? You still can depend 100% on the Savior that we have.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm like he's gonna take care of you. Everything he does has a plan and a purpose. So as long as you remember that. That bad time will come to an end. That bad time
Yeah,
will
true.
end,
Yeah.
and you will get back into the place that you're supposed to be. And God's going to get you where you're
Yeah.
supposed to be. But you got to trust Him. You got to rely on Him. So.
Yeah. Amen. This is gonna read a scripture, and then I want to know your thoughts on it. 2 Timothy 3 verse 1. Remember this: there are some terrible times coming in the last days. People will love only themselves and money. They will be proud and boast about themselves. They will abuse others with insults. They will not obey their parents. They will be ungrateful and against all that is pleasing to God. What does this scripture say to you about appreciation and Thanksgiving?
I'm trying to figure out when the last times, because the last days, 'cause it's like, yo,
for
this
sure.
is people will love themselves above money, already happening. They will be proud and boast, already happening. They will abuse, already happening. They will not obey their parents, already happening. They will be ungrateful. I'm like, yo, that hits hard. But that this one's kind of tough for me because I'm trying to find this like deep answer, but I think simple answer is good too. What does Scripture say about? It just says it's important. It's very important to be appreciative and just to be thankful. Like it's above a lot of different things in our lives, and we just need to put it up there in the top tier and just be thankful for everything because, like you said, like the Bible says, like like everything is received. It's all given to us. So that's kind of what I see in there.
I think it shows that ungratefulness is probably more serious of a sin than we will ever get it credit for. Like it makes me think of like lying and gossip. Like those are some things that a lot of Christians like they don't even acknowledge that it could be a sin, and to God it's like a huge one. And so definitely. I think that shows us like, man, if ungratefulness is like a sign of the terrible times, then it's probably really bad for Christians to be ungrateful. So we probably should go out of our way to learn how to make ourselves grateful, go out of our way to like make that a priority, because I don't want to be that what he's describing. Those are terrible people.
Well, and I think they will be ungrateful and against all that is pleasing to God. That means being
horrible.
ungrateful is against all that is pleasing to God. So like you could be like, but I love you. I'm like, if you're ungrateful, you are against God.
You're against God,
And that is scary.
Yeah.
That is literally scary.
So scary.
I was thinking about even what you said, like financial people, because I think sometimes there's people who think they're thankful, but if you're not good with your money, you're not very thankful. Because that means that you're not content with what you have.
Right, you're spending more than you are
thirsting
earning.
for other things to make you happy, and it's not making you happy. So like I was thinking about that, and I'm like, wow, you can think that just because you said thank you, but if you're just constantly like trying to buy stuff to find that fulfillment, you're not grateful.
You're not grateful,
and it's against everything that is God, because I think that he inhabits the praises of our people. So like he exists in gratefulness. So if you're ungrateful, that means you're inviting an anti-Christ attitude, an anti-Christ spirit, an anti-Christ, and that's like,
I don't want to be the anti-Christ.
If praise makes the enemy flee, so complaining invites the enemy.
That's good.
And I think that we forget that, and we start entertaining that attitude and that aspect, and I kind of said this before, but like those people that are literally like, I can't sit next to them, I can't, because all they do is complain.
It's like
nothing
very
is
draining.
ever good enough. They like suck the life out of you, so it's tough. Any last thoughts before we close up? Any last things you want to say that maybe you want to hit on more, hit on less?
I'll just say, surround yourself with the right people. Just the right people. One of the things I had to learn coming up was I kind of had to learn. My parents never really said I love you a lot when I was growing up, so I had to learn what love really was, and I learned that here in 2006 when somebody actually told me they loved me and they meant it. I was like, oh wow, people actually do care about me. So cool. So just surround yourself with people, and I'm not just talking about just anyone. I'm saying people that's going to lift you up, but that also is going to teach you how to be thankful, how to be appreciative, because I kind of had to learn that too when things were given to me. I'm still pretty bad when gifts are given to me and things are being thanked and whatnot, but I'm getting better at it as time goes on, because it just never really happened when I was a kid. So but just surrounding yourself with people that are going to lift you up, that's going to make you better. Iron sharpens iron. So you want to make sure that that person is or those people are definitely what you need. So just surround yourself with the right people. Might be my last thing.
That's good.
I agree. I think probably if you're wondering if you are grateful or not, you need to go ask someone who's really close to you. If you're married, ask your spouse, because I asked Gio and I was scared of his answer. I was like, what are you going to say? But ask your parents, ask your friends, because we're probably all bigger brats than we are self-aware. So I think it's important. You have to know if that it's something you struggle with before you can get better. So if you really care about improving yourself, then go ask someone and tell them 5 times, no, tell me the truth, I won't be mad. Tell me the truth, I won't be mad. Because they'll probably tell you a higher number the first time. And then if you really are serious, they might tell you the truth after 2 or 3,
and anyone can do it. You can switch your attitude. Even now, it's a perfect time to choose to be thankful. Because life is not being very thankful right now, but because we have a hope, we can be thankful, because we have that seed, we have that heart, genuinely so important. You know, be thankful for the people in your life, the healthcare workers. Be thankful for the job that you have.
Yeah.
Be thankful that, you know, maybe you'll get your stimulus check soon. you
Yeah.
know, like at this point, everyone should have it by the time we air this or whatever. But like, be thankful for those little things.
Definitely.
Pastor Michael, since your first time here, you get to pick a fortune cookie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you pick whatever, and then we're gonna call it. Pick the right one. Don't pick the wrong one. And you open it up. This is gonna be about Sloan.
It's gonna be about Sloan.
Yeah,
Sloan.
That's awesome. Oh, I broke it when I was opening
it's okay.
It's okay.
No,
it's not the end of the world.
you know.
Here we go.
Make sure you read the right side.
Yeah. Well, wait. There's someone.
Sometimes like
There's, like,
locale
auto
or
numbers
Okay,
on
I think
one
we're good. I
side.
think we're good. Fear is interest paid on a debt you may not owe.
So don't be afraid while your wife is pregnant right now,
Amen.
because doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Because God's got it. God's
You
got
don't owe
Sloan.
that
God's got
debt.
Elizabeth. It's all
Debt
good.
free.
Yeah, this is really good, especially with everything that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Show Elizabeth.
Show
I am gonna
Elizabeth.
show
Tell her
Elizabeth.
the fortune said that she's going to be
Fortune said it's
okay.
gonna be okay. So
Well, also,
babe.
forget the word of God says she's
Yes.
going to be okay. You
Yeah.
guys are going to
Amen.
be
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna be okay.
Everyone,
We're gonna
all
be
the
good.
babies, Elisha, Everly, Jericho. What other babies exist out there?
Juliana.
Squirrel's going to
Yeah.
be okay.
baby.
Juliana's going to be okay. We
Juliana.
got a lot of mainstream babies.
There's a lot of
We have
mainstream
a lot of
babies.
mainstream mamas out there pregnant, praying for them, praying Jesus takes care of them. And he will.
He will.
Well, thanks for you guys being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you were blessed, you were touched, I ask you right now, go ahead and subscribe, number one, and also share. Like immediately right now, go ahead and share this link on Facebook. Can't really share it on Instagram. That's a little weird, but you could post about it.
Yeah.
Take a screenshot. We'll post for you right now. Take it, post it. That will be really, really great. You can share it on Twitter also if you were blessed. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Catch you later.